Deconstructing Elon Musk's strategic dominance, we reveal how he ruthlessly applies 5 core Machiavellian principles to seize and control entire industries. We dissect his calculated moves, from leveraging asymmetry to cultivating an unshakable mystique, providing a pragmatic blueprint for achieving unparalleled influence and market supremacy. Ever wonder how Elon Musk seems to conquer every industry he touches, from electric cars to space travel? It's not just innovation, it's a calculated, almost ruthless application of timeless principles. We're breaking down the 5 Machiavellian strategies he masterfully deploys to dominate markets and crush competition. Prepare to see the world's most influential entrepreneur in a whole new strategic light. Most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they compete inside futures designed by other men. They argue over scraps while someone else decides where the table will be placed. This is where the vision monopoly begins. When you control the future, you no longer need to fight in the present. You dictate the direction of desire, capital, labor, and belief long before resistance can organize itself. This is the first and most decisive Machiavellian advantage. Elon Musk does not enter industries to compete. He enters them to redefine inevitability. He frames outcomes as unavoidable, not optional. Electric vehicles were not positioned as a better car, they were positioned as the only future that survives. Space exploration was not sold as curiosity, it was framed as extinction insurance. Neural technology was not introduced as innovation, it was framed as evolution or irrelevance. Once the future is framed this way, opposition collapses into defensiveness. Anyone who disagrees is no longer a rival, they are an obstacle to progress. That is Machiavellian perfection. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. People do not follow reason, they follow certainty. They submit to those who appear aligned with destiny. When a leader convinces the masses that history is moving in one direction, resistance feels pointless and compliance feels intelligent. This is why vision is not inspiration. Vision is psychological enclosure. It traps competitors inside a shrinking present while you expand uncontested into tomorrow. Notice how the vision monopoly neutralizes criticism. When Musk announces timelines that sound unrealistic, the goal is not accuracy. The goal is dominance of imagination. While critics debate feasibility, capital flows, talent migrates, and governments prepare infrastructure around his assumptions. By the time reality catches up, the ecosystem already belongs to him. This is not optimism. This is strategic occupation of the future. Most people misunderstand vision as passion. That is a fatal error. Passion asks for belief. Power installs belief. A true vision monopoly does not ask people to agree. It conditions them to adapt. Engineers tolerate brutality because they believe they are building history. Investors tolerate volatility because they believe they are early. Governments tolerate disruption because they fear being left behind. This is how vision becomes leverage across every layer of influence. The Machiavellian core is simple. If you cannot be the strongest man in the room, be the man who defines where the room is moving. Control the narrative of tomorrow, and today becomes yours by default. This is why incremental thinkers always lose. They optimize within systems that are about to be replaced. Visionary strategists do not optimize, they invalidate. The strategic antidote for the viewer is uncomfortable but necessary. Stop asking how to compete better. Ask how to make competition irrelevant. Stop improving your position inside someone else's framework. Build a framework so dominant that others must position themselves relative to you. This requires clarity that borders on obsession and confidence that looks unreasonable to cautious minds. You must speak in inevitabilities, not possibilities. You must frame your direction as the natural outcome of intelligence and survival. You must repeat it until others defend it for you. When people begin explaining your vision to skeptics on your behalf, the monopoly has formed. At that point, effort decreases while power compounds. The vision monopoly is not about seeing further than others. It is about forcing others to look where you want, even when they doubt you, even when they resent you, even when they fear you. Because once the future feels owned, the present obeys. Power is never attacked directly. It is attacked through morality. This is why every dominant figure learns one essential lesson early. Raw ambition invites resistance, but moral framing neutralizes it. The moral shield is the tactic of wrapping ruthless action inside a cause so elevated that opposition appears selfish, ignorant, or dangerous. This is not hypocrisy. This is survival at scale. Elon Musk understands that people tolerate aggression only when they believe it serves something larger than ego. That is why his most controversial decisions are never framed as profit-driven. They are framed as necessary sacrifices for humanity's future. When factories are pushed beyond human limits, it is not exploitation, it is urgency. When regulations are challenged, it is not recklessness, it is innovation being strangled. When critics attack him, they are not moral guardians, they are obstacles to progress. This reframing is deliberate, and it is devastatingly effective. Machiavelli warned that cruelty must be justified, or it will destroy the prince. The modern world has simply updated the language. Today, morality is the battlefield. Whoever controls the moral narrative controls permission. Permission to move faster, permission to break norms, permission to demand more than others are willing to give. The moral shield provides that permission without asking for it. Watch how this disarms opposition. When you attack someone protected by a moral mission, you do not look brave. You look regressive. You look like someone standing in the way of clean energy, human survival, technological advancement, or free expression. This forces critics into defensive positions. They must first explain why they are not villains before they can even begin to criticize. By then, momentum is lost. This is not about being good. It is about being perceived as necessary. The moral shield converts ambition into obligation. It tells the world, this must be done, even if it hurts, even if it disrupts, even if it offends. And once necessity is accepted, cruelty becomes tolerable, pressure becomes justified, and dominance becomes invisible. The deeper Machiavellian insight is that people fear appearing immoral more than they fear being dominated. They will comply, work harder, accept less, and stay silent if resistance risks moral condemnation. This is why moral authority is more powerful than legal authority. Laws can be challenged. Morality silences. Most people fail because they seek approval before action. They want to be liked while advancing. That is impossible at scale. Musk does not seek universal approval. He seeks moral asymmetry. As long as his mission sounds bigger than his critics, he wins by default. The public forgives delays, failures, even arrogance, because they believe the end goal justifies the chaos. The strategic antidote is uncomfortable but precise. If you want to move aggressively without being destroyed, you must anchor your actions to a cause that transcends you. Not a vague slogan, but a narrative that implies urgency and consequence. Something that makes resistance feel irresponsible. You are not selling yourself. You are selling necessity. This requires discipline. You must never argue defensively. You must never apologize for pressure. You must never frame ambition as desire. Frame it as duty. When questioned, redirect to the mission. When attacked, escalate the stakes. Make the cost of stopping you sound higher than the cost of enduring you. Once the moral shield is established, enforcement becomes unnecessary. People police themselves. Employees endure because they believe. Supporters defend you without instruction. Critics exhaust themselves fighting a narrative that regenerates faster than their outrage. At that point, power moves quietly, protected not by force, but by belief, and belief is the most efficient armor a strategist can wear. Most people are defeated long before competition begins, because they structure their lives to avoid loss instead of to absorb it. They protect comfort, reputation, stability, and predictability, and in doing so, they shackle themselves to cautious decisions. Power never grows in safe environments. It grows where risk is unevenly distributed, and this is where the asymmetric risk engine operates. Elon Musk does not take risks the way ordinary leaders do. He engineers situations where the downside is survivable for him, but catastrophic for everyone else. That asymmetry is not accidental. It is the engine of dominance. When Musk risks capital, he risks capital he can recover. When competitors risk capital, they risk extinction. When he risks reputation, he already controls the narrative. When they risk reputation, they lose trust, funding, and relevance. The battlefield is the same, but the consequences are not. Machiavelli. I understood that fortune favors those who are prepared to endure volatility. He wrote that men who rely on stability are crushed when conditions change, while those accustomed to chaos adapt and conquer. The asymmetric risk engine is the modern execution of this truth. Musk deliberately operates at the edge of failure because he knows that bureaucratic institutions, legacy companies, and cautious leaders are structurally incapable of following him there. This creates psychological dominance before any technical advantage appears. When rivals see Musk betting everything on timelines that seem impossible, they hesitate, they wait, they call it irresponsible. But hesitation is fatal in asymmetrical warfare. While they are seeking certainty, he is accumulating experience, data, talent, and public attention. Even when he fails, he learns faster than they move. Understand this clearly. Risk is not about recklessness. It is about positioning. Musk does not gamble blindly. He builds systems where failure sharpens his edge instead of destroying him. Government contracts soften losses. Public belief sustains momentum. Vertical integration limits dependency. Each layer reduces downside while preserving upside. To outsiders, it looks like madness. In reality, it is insulated aggression. The true Machiavellian advantage is fear imbalance. Musk can afford to lose more than his competitors can afford to lose once. That means every confrontation favors him. Negotiations bend toward him. Regulators move carefully around him. Partners tolerate volatility. Why? Because everyone else has more to lose by stopping him than he has by pushing forward. Most people misunderstand this and try to imitate surface behavior. They take risks without insulation and call it courage. That is not strategy. That is suicide. The lesson is not to risk everything. The lesson is to design your life so ISK works for you. Reduce fixed costs. Build optionality. Accumulate leverage. Create reputational narratives that survive failure. Only then does risk become a weapon instead of a liability. The strategic antidote is ruthless self-assessment. Ask yourself what you are protecting. Comfort, approval, stability, those are liabilities in a competitive environment. The goal is not to eliminate fear. The goal is to transfer fear to others. When your opponents are more afraid of action than you are of failure, you control the tempo. This is why Musk moves fast in public, announces aggressively, and commits before certainty exists. Each announcement forces others to respond under pressure. Each bold move shifts the burden of caution onto competitors. They must explain why they are slower, safer, and behind. He never has to explain why he is ahead. The asymmetric risk engine turns chaos into fuel. It rewards those who prepare for instability and punishes those who cling to security. When you can survive volatility, volatility becomes your ally. When you can endure failure, failure becomes instruction. And when others fear losing what they have, you gain freedom to take what they cannot defend. Most people believe power is exercised behind closed doors. That belief keeps them weak. Real power understands that the public arena is not noise to be avoided, but terrain to be conquered. The public battlefield is where perception is shaped, enemies are destabilized, and momentum is manufactured in real time. Those who fear visibility surrender influence to those who weaponize it. Elon Musk does not treat public attention as a byproduct of success. He treats it as an instrument of control. Every tweet, interview, controversy, and spectacle functions as a pressure event. He knows that attention is finite, emotional, and reactive, and whoever commands it dictates the rhythm of the market. While others hide behind press teams and legal filters, Musk steps directly into the arena because he understands a critical Machiavellian truth. Unpredictability terrifies structured systems. Machiavelli taught that a ruler must appear decisive even when uncertain. In the modern world, decisiveness is communicated publicly. Silence is interpreted as weakness. Caution is interpreted as doubt. Musk floods the public battlefield with signals. Some are calculated, some are chaotic. The distinction does not matter. What matters is dominance of the narrative cycle. When he speaks, markets move. When he jokes, institutions panic. When he challenges authority, the authority must respond on his terms. This creates asymmetrical pressure. Competitors are forced into defensive communication. They issue safe statements, delayed responses, committee-approved language. By the time they speak, the moment has passed, and the narrative is already set. Musk does not wait for permission. He creates events that others must explain. This is how public attention becomes leverage rather than risk. Understand the deeper strategy. The public battlefield is not about being liked. It is about being unavoidable. Musk is not trying to convince everyone. He is polarizing deliberately. Polarization concentrates loyalty. Those who support him become louder. Those who oppose him amplify him through outrage. Both sides increase his reach. Neutrality disappears. And in a polarized environment, the loudest actor defines reality. This is why controversy is not accidental. It is a sorting mechanism. It identifies allies, exposes enemies, and tests institutional tolerance. Each public clash reveals who bends and who resists. Regulators show their limits. Media shows its bias. Markets show their fear. Musk collects this information in real time and adjusts strategy accordingly. The public think they are watching drama. In reality, they are participating in a stress test. Most people fail here because they confuse reputation with safety. They want clean images, stable approval, controlled exposure. That instinct belongs to subordinates, not strategists. On the public battlefield, perfection is fragile. Humanity is resilient. Musk appears flawed, impulsive, even reckless, because imperfection absorbs attack better than polish. When critics strike, the damage is already priced in. The strategic antidote is psychological hardening. If you want influence, you must tolerate misunderstanding. You must allow noise without retreat. You must speak in ways that force reaction. This does not mean chaos for its own sake. It means intentional presence. You choose when to provoke, when to escalate, and when to remain silent. But silence is never fear-based. It is tactical. The public battlefield rewards those who move first and speak boldly. It punishes those who wait for consensus. Once you dominate attention, execution becomes easier. Talent finds you. Capital follows you. Opponents exhaust themselves responding to you. You are no longer reacting to the world is reacting to you. Control attention, and you control tempo. Control tempo, and you control outcomes. Every empire rises or collapses on the quality of the people executing its vision. Resources can be borrowed, capital can be raised, technology can be copied. But elite human capability is scarce, volatile, and difficult to control. This is why most leaders fail at scale. They attempt to attract talent through comfort, balance, and reassurance. That strategy produces compliance, not greatness. The talent siege operates on the opposite logic. Elon Musk does not recruit for harmony. He recruits for endurance. His environments are intentionally demanding, unforgiving, and relentless. This is not mismanagement. It is filtration. Musk understands that pressure is the most accurate test of alignment. Those who remain are not merely skilled, they are committed to the outcome at a personal cost. That level of commitment cannot be purchased. It must be extracted. Machiavelli wrote that mercenaries are useless and dangerous because they lack loyalty and discipline. Modern mercenaries wear resumes instead of armor. They want compensation without sacrifice, status without strain, and meaning without discomfort. The talent siege exists to repel them. By setting standards that appear extreme, Musk ensures that only those willing to suffer for the mission enter the gates. This creates an elite inner circle bound not by comfort, but by shared hardship. Long hours, impossible deadlines, public failure, and internal pressure become rites of passage. Those who endure develop a psychological bond stronger than incentives. They are no longer working for a company. They are surviving an ordeal that transforms obedience into identity. The strategic brilliance is that high standards perform multiple functions simultaneously. They attract the obsessed, repel the entitled, and intimidate competitors. When rivals see the intensity required to operate at Musk's level, many opt out before even attempting to compete. They assume it is unsustainable. They are correct. It is unsustainable for average people. That is the point. This is where most leaders retreat. They fear burnout, backlash, and criticism. They soften expectations to appear humane. Machiavelli would recognize this as weakness disguised as virtue. Excessive mercy dissolves discipline. The talent siege maintains discipline by making the mission more important than the individual. This does not eliminate turnover, it weaponizes it. Those who leave reinforce the myth. Those who stay become legends, understand the asymmetry created here. Musk does not need everyone. He needs a small number of extreme operators. Each one replaces dozens of average performers. Their output is non-linear. Their tolerance for complexity and pressure allows the organization to move faster, break rules, and recover from failure without collapse. Competitors staffed by cautious professionals cannot match this velocity. The deeper Machiavellian insight is loyalty engineering. People who survive harsh conditions together defend the system that tested them. They rationalize the pressure because admitting exploitation would invalidate their sacrifice. This creates internal defenders more loyal than any external advocate. Criticism from the outside strengthens cohesion on the inside. Most people watching misunderstand this and ask whether it is ethical. That question is irrelevant in a power analysis. The correct question is whether it works. And it works because ambition at scale is not compatible with comfort. Every world-changing outcome has been built by people willing to endure what others refuse. The strategic antidote for the viewer is uncomfortable clarity. If you want exceptional outcomes, you cannot build teams optimized for ease. You must build teams optimized for resilience. This means raising standards until excuses disappear. This means valuing output over sentiment. This means accepting that not everyone will stay, and not everyone should. You are not seeking loyalty from everyone. You are selecting for those who can carry weight without complaint. Once assembled, this group becomes a force multiplier. They execute faster, think deeper, and recover stronger because they have already paid the psychological cost of entry. The talent siege does not create a pleasant environment. It creates an effective one, and effectiveness is the only standard that endures in competitive reality.
Every system is B.
For yesterday's thinkers, laws, regulations, corporate norms, and institutional procedures are designed to control predictable behavior, not adaptive intelligence. The rule breaker's advantage emerges when a strategist understands this lag and exploits it without hesitation. Power does not belong to those who obey rules perfectly. It belongs to those who understand which rules matter, which rules can be bent, and which rules exist only to slow the unambitious. Elon Musk operates in the gap between innovation and regulation. That gap is where dominance forms. While others wait for permission, he moves and forces permission to catch up. This is not chaos, it is timing. Institutions react slowly because they are built on consensus, risk avoidance, and precedent. Musk advances quickly because he understands that speed itself is a form of leverage. Machiavelli warned that a ruler who relies on existing laws alone will be destroyed when circumstances change. He understood that rules protect the system, not the individual who seeks power. In modern terms, this means that obedience benefits incumbents and punishes disruptors. Musk does not worship systems. He studies them, identifies their limits, and moves directly toward those limits until they break or bend. This is why his companies repeatedly collide with regulators, unions, financial authorities, and traditional gatekeepers. These collisions are not accidents. They are stress tests. Each challenge exposes how far he can push before resistance becomes meaningful. Often, by the time resistance mobilizes, the outcome is already locked in. Infrastructure is built. Markets are conditioned. Public expectation is set. At that point, stopping him would cause more damage than letting him continue. The brilliance of the rule breaker's advantage lies in forcing others into reactive positions. Regulators must justify interv. Competitors must explain delay. Institutions must revise outdated frameworks in public. This creates hesitation, confusion, and internal conflict among those who are supposed to enforce stability. Meanwhile, Musk continues executing. Momentum becomes his shield. Most people confuse rule-breaking with rebellion. That is a mistake. Rebellion is emotional. Strategic rule-breaking is calculated. Musk does not break rules blindly. He breaks them where enforcement is slow, consequences are unclear, and public benefit can be argued. This triangulation allows him to advance aggressively while maintaining plausible justification. Another critical aspect is narrative control. When rules are challenged, Musk frames the conflict as progress versus stagnation, innovator versus bureaucracy, future versus past. This framing shifts public sympathy and pressures institutions to appear reasonable rather than rigid. Once an authority fears looking obsolete, its power weakens. The deeper Machiavellian layer is selective compliance. Musk complies where compliance strengthens his position and resists where resistance accelerates it. This unpredictability destabilizes opponents. They cannot model his behavior because it does not follow precedent. Strategy thrives where predictability dies. Most people watching are constrained not by laws, but by internalized obedience. They follow rules that no longer apply, respect hierarchies that no longer protect them, and wait for approval that will never come. The system rewards those who ask permission with delay, and rewards those who act with negotiation after the fact. The strategic antidote is intellectual sovereignty. Learn the rules thoroughly, not to follow them, but to understand their intent, enforcement speed, and flexibility. Identify which constraints are real and which are cultural illusions. Move decisively in the gaps. Accept friction as confirmation, not deterrence. When you operate faster than systems can adapt, you force adaptation in your favor. The world does not stop innovators, it absorbs them, rewrites rules around them, and pretends it was inevitable all along. Those who hesitate are forgotten. Those who move redefine the environment itself. The rule breaker's advantage is not about lawlessness, it is about understanding that progress always arrives before permission, and those who wait to be allowed never arrive at all. Vision monopoly, moral shield, asymmetric risk, public battlefield, talent siege, rule breaker advantage. These are not traits, they are systems of domination.